Reuven. I wanted to share a thought that I heard today from Rav Zakatinsky, a very choshev azach. He brings down from the Igros Haramchal that this is a sefer that was all the shilas and shuvas and letters that were sent to the Ramchal Bezmana in his time. One of which was from a Yid at Reuven guys and Rav Shaya, and he asks a pashat azach something very simple. He says, "We are put in this world to fulfill a tikun, to fix something in this world. And the tools that we were given are the mitzvahs, one of which is davening with a minyan, other mitzvahs, part of the mitzvahs that we have. But there are times when we see that we can't fulfill those mitzvahs. The government, or in those days it was a government that would make a gezaira. So then how are we supposed to fulfill, how is the world continuing? How can we fix the world if we can't do these mitzvahs? We don't have the toolbox." So the Ramchal answers, he says, "You're right, it's not a poshet, it's not so simple." He says, through doing the mitzvahs, we create the tikun for the world. But there are times, we see this, that there is greater growth dafka when we can't do these mitzvahs. He brings a raya, he brings an example, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Shimon Bar Yochai for 13 years sat with his son in a cave. He didn't have shofar blowing, he didn't have matzah, he didn't daven with a minyan. And from this darkness, the Zoya was born. The product of all that was the Zoya Kodesh, which is the stepping stone for the Mashiach. So the darkest period gave birth to the greatest light. Says the Ramchal further, what is the true meaning of the Mashiach? It's not only that we won't have to go to work and we'll be sitting a whole day in Beis Medrash, Baruch Hashem, and everything will be Shulam Shalva. That's a finite situation. That's the Gashmias Leben will be. But there'll be something greater. The Mashiach will bring an awareness of the infinite of the Eibishter of Hashem in the finite world. Everything, trees will talk to us and say, the Eibishter is new. Stones will say, Hashem Eilach, Hashem Mulach, Hashem Yimlach. Everything will shout the infinite glory of Kaviyuch, the Eibishter, in the finite world that we're living in. Where does that energy get born? That energy gets born in these times when we can't fulfill the mitzvahs with our hands. But we're in a position where we yearn to do those mitzvahs. We yearn to fulfill and to reach out and to go to shul and sit with that minyan and be with our chavayrim. When that yearning creates the deposit of energy that's going to create that in the finite world there'll be infinite glory of Hashem. And this is what's happening around us now. Hashem is asking us to want to have been able to go to a minyan. So that when the Mashiach, so that when the Yeshia is coming, and this is going to end, we'll go back to our shuls with such a warmth and such a sweetness, and we'll be able to hold the Sefer Torah, and we'll daven, minyan, gewaltig, a minyan. We won't have to schlep someone out of a house to go make up the tzenta. It will be a whole different world. I saw a Sheinavot from the Alexander Rebbe that ties up into this. The Alexander Rebbe, Zechron Lebrucha, Rebbe Yitzchak Menachem, who was the last Rebbe before the Mechumah, Nebach Imgi Kimin of Kiddush Hashem, he says, Vayakal Moshe. Moshe gathered all the Yidden together. That when he says in the Shmuz Hazoy, he says, when the Yidden, Haltenzach, when the Yidden hold themselves together, this in itself cleanses the neshamas of those Yidden, Just like a mikveh is matara the guf, cleanses the guf, the body. He says, vayakal and mikveh gemarti the same. So that this is, so our moment now is to miss the ability to go out and be together, to pine after our minion. And in this will bring a cleansing of our neshama. The missing to do these mitzvahs, that this will be the tikkun that for this moment. This ache is the tikkun for this moment, which will bring cleansing, so that when the Eibishter helfen, we should be together. This is the Havas Yisrael, einer for the zweite, one for the other. This will envelop the world to such a point that when this Eis Tzorah will end, we'll be able to look at things with a new eyes, a new warmth, a new love for Kaviyuchel, the Eibishter and seine Mitzvahs. Und der Eibishter soll uns helfen. Wir sollen alle geholfen werden. Und die Kranke sagen, die Jeden, wir sind nämlich jetzt, sollen sagen, gesinnt, sollen sagen, Fies, Yeshis für alle Jeden. Wir sollen alle können sitzen, es ist Nissim, der Chodesh of Nissim, soll sein Nissim. Wenn wir heiraten, bei Yumayni, oh mein.